When you ask people what they think stands between them and their goals, there are some pretty common responses. Inexperience, fear, maybe hesitation, time management. These are obstacles we all have to overcome, right? Certainly they're all valid, they're all very real. And I recently took this question, spent some time with it. In terms of my own progress, I looked back at the past year and a half, starting from the inception of Your World Within to right now. Substantial progress has been made. I'm happy with where I am. But at the same time, there were periods of stagnation where maybe the wheels weren't turning as fast as I'd like them to. So now that some time's passed, I have the luxury of examining my lessons learned. And of all of them, the most important is the realization that perfection is a myth. And not only a myth, but it's deceitful. It's detrimental to success. See, perfection is, by its very definition, flawless. And in theory, that's ideal. That's what we want. But in reality, it's impossible. Our value lies not in chasing around this false idea of perfection, but in making progress. If you succumb to the idea of perfect, you're establishing an expectation that cannot be satisfied. You aren't allowing yourself to dive in, to gain momentum, to take flight, because you're questioning your judgment. You're holding back. You aren't putting yourself out there. If you're not perfect, if your work isn't perfect, you don't want it to be seen. But perfect isn't real. The only way to obtain excellence is to move with what you have right now. No, you won't be flawless, but you can improve every single day. There's great benefit to creating something, throwing it against a wall and seeing if it sticks. If it does, great, that's a win. If it doesn't, you regroup, you reassess, and you throw it again. That's growth. And some growth is always better than no growth. Over the course of my life, I probably can't count the amount of times I've said the phrase, Rome wasn't built in a day. But I've never found a situation where it applied so directly, because you don't build a city, right? You create buildings, you design roads, and everything converges to become a city. Those sequences of events, trials and errors, growth, that becomes your Rome. So it would be crazy for your expectations not to be managed accordingly. If your plan was to become fit, but you won't even step into the gym because you don't look like Brad Pitt in Troy, you're not gonna go anywhere, right? To get to that level, you need to first allow yourself to be vulnerable, to step into the situation and learn, evolve into that vision you have for yourself. Another example that reinforces this point is an interview I saw recently with Ed Sheeran. He's talking about his first shows, the first music he ever wrote. Playing it for his audience. He still has the recordings, and they're horrible. But that's what got him where he is now, right? That determination, that progress. He wasn't intimidated to get out there and grow. And now we can sit back, reflect and joke a little bit about his journey. Missed opportunity, regret, that rarely comes from going too fast, from being too adventurous. It comes from being too conservative. Whereas when I look at my greatest accomplishments, the creations I'm most proud of, sure, networking, research, experience played a role, but more than anything, it was having the trust in myself to start, to begin, to acknowledge that, yes, I am flawed, but I accept it, because those flaws are the seeds that enable something truly unique to transpire. And now comes the part I enjoy, right? Where I can take my acquired wisdom and share it with you, because I guarantee every single person listening to this has something they're hesitant to start, to do, or to become. Never lose sight of the fact that a goal takes time. There's something you grow into, but you need to first allow yourself to take that leap, right? As far as I'm concerned, the only perfect thing in existence is the current moment, because it is the first step to everything you could ever want.